What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Welcome to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I am looking forward to having a great conversation. Anwar said, hope y'all got some scripture in before moving today. I got a feeling today about today's show last night was a wild conversation. It was wildly entertaining, I will say that. If you guys don't catch the Monday show, you're really missing out. You're really missing out, man. Let me tell you, I plan on taking over y'all whole 2024 calendar. My goal is and thank you, Pink Shank, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. My goal is for 2024, anytime that you decide to pick up your device and get on YouTube, or if you're considering watching TV or anything, or streaming something, that you prefer me. In 2024, I just want to completely be all over your TV screen. Shout out to Batman 4000 plus 11. I appreciate you. Honestly, in 2024, my goal is to consume you in a social way. Anything that you can that you consider, and hopefully I influence you in a positive way also, right? But I don't want you guys to tap into any other. So I'm selfish like that. I'm territorial. The same way that I am with the women that surround me is the same way that I am with you guys. Oh, we gonna get there, Sam the God. Said no Texas slander. Oh, we gonna get there. The same way that I am with the ladies that are around me is the same way that I am with you guys here on the Millionaire Morning Show, the Anton Daniels channel. I know that I played a game and I'll be like, oh yeah, go and watch them. And it is some content creators that I really rock with. Island Girl Q, Freezy, and it's some more, but in a general sense, I am very selfish and territorial when it comes to the people that I love. Thank you, Ari Reed. You said your household watch me daily. Well, I'll be very mindful not to curse, because hopefully I'm impacting them in a positive way. I am, man. Listen, I just want it to be us, you, me. I want us to be in our own little bubble. I don't want nobody to come in between what we got going on, right? I don't want no other people calling you. I don't want no other people tapping into you. I want to empower you. I want to make sure that you have everything that allows for you to have a good life and everything like that. But should nobody be calling your phone, baby girl? Nobody should be calling your phone. You know what I'm saying? Go and get you some married friends. Something, anything. But as long as you mine and mine only, that is the only thing that matters. And so for 2024, shout out to Brittany B. Hey, hit up Q. For 2024, I am going to focus on taking over everything that is on your screen related. After Hours, Anton Daniels, Millionaire Morning Show, day, night, whatever. I want to consume your thoughts. But with that being said, let me get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Make sure that y'all get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Shout out to the Teach. Shout out to the Teach. You said it slipped sometimes. Ari, that's what she said. Oh my God. Sometimes it slip. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We appreciate Teach for holding us down. Also, on top of that, I'll be reading super chats throughout the show. Thank you, Chuck Gibson. And if you are not a bag chaser, then I don't know what you are doing. You are confusing me. So you're going to tell me that you're going to let the entire 2023 calendar year go by before you align yourself with the people that you're supposed to be aligned with. Is that what we doing going into the new year? Is that what we doing going into the new year? So I'm going on tour next year and you're not going to be there. You're not going to kick it with me in person. You're just going to act ugly about that. You're going to be evil. You're going to be evil. You're not going to come kick it with me when I tap into your city. You're not going to become a bag chaser. You're not going to get all of the game and the information. You're not going to align yourself with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Okay. So you going to go into 2024 the same way that you went into 2023, being dusty, and not doing the thing that's in the best interest of you, your family, and your future children. And then you're going to sit here and then whine and complain to me how every single year, you just going to keep on being dusty. Everybody leaving you behind, becoming great, executives, successful businesses, getting their businesses funded, and all of this other type of stuff. And then you just going whole another year. This year that went by, I warned y'all. Next year probably going by. All right. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Micah Hill, it's not Rachel Houston Crimes. It's going to be Ratchet Houston Crimes. So we're going to get there. But before we get there, this is the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me get a general idea of how the people feel in the chat today. One word. Peter Investor said, Anton, everyone is saying the two things you said. Number one, marriage is a business. And number two, you need more than 100K. See, I'm glad that you recognize that, Peter Investor, because I don't believe that I get the credit that I deserve. And I believe that everybody is out here stealing my talking points, riding my wave, not giving me credit, all of that. Oh, I'm coming to Dallas. I love Dallas. What up, C? I might even step foot over into Houston. Blessed, motivated, loved, ready, enthusiastic, beautiful, good. Good morning, chasers. What up, Anike? Broke, blessed, not broke, rebuke broke. Celebrating. Shout out to my dog Kojak. Happy birthday. Fantastic. Pleasure. Motivated, powerful, accomplished, appreciated. Need to talk to me? Okay, but you focus. Qualified, dope, patient. Chill, optimistic, awesome, rejuvenated, great, thankful, fresh. I like that. Realign. I like that. Blessed is my dog Ray Sean. What up, though? How about them Cowboys? Motivated, not too good. Keith, let's get it together. Humble, paid, healed, high, blessed. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to my Dallas people. Relieved, challenged. Dude is a national treasure for real. Thank you, my friend. Brave. Rebuke broke. Facts. Almost late. Don't be that. Was I late with that payment that I sent to you for your pitching your business, Enos? Don't be late. Morning Chasers, healthy. Blah. Don't be blah. Irritated, content, applying for college. Congratulations. You got a raise, Sabrina. Shout out to my blessed people. Grateful, breaking barriers, pained. High. Don't be high, K. Cooper. Ambitious. Hot. Ooh, I like that. Grand. Confused. Investing. Grinding. Debt free. I like that. And progression. Optimistic. And forever awesome. I like everything that I see happen in the day because it informs me on how it is that I can continue to add value into your life. What up, Sky Sky? What up, Prince Alien Invested? What up, Next Level? Glocktavius. I don't know about that name. Productive. Shout out to y'all in the spirit of forgiveness, along with accountability. Sexy. Ooh, wee. Oh, my God. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge a couple of the early super chatters. First and foremost, I got to give a round of applause to my guy, Mike, that dude. Mike, that dude, you like an alarm. The way that you always make sure that you add value into my life on Cash App. Shout out to you. Also want to acknowledge a few of the super chats, early super chatters. My dog P Shank was my first super chatter today. So good morning, AD. Enjoy your day. Thank you, P Shank. And likewise, I want you to enjoy your day. Awesome. Queen B is in the building, says, good morning, everybody. Man, AD. I just finished listening to Q and y'all show last night, and I literally was crying, real tears. U2K in the chat was hilarious. I loved every bit of it. Man, let me tell you something. Q put on the best show ever. Q got me wanting to take a flight over to Dallas, y'all. I'm not even that type of dude, but we might need to get our flights up. If you know, you know. If you watched the show last night, then you're aware. Shout out to Queen B. Chuck Gibson is in the building, says new bag chaser out of Cleveland. Shout out to the new chasers. Again, the link is in the description. Please do not let this entire year go by before you become a chaser. All right? Okay. Y'all ready to get started with the show? We got a lot to cover, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Quick Hits. Quick Hits is a segment of the show. Shout out to AP. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we basically break down what's going on out here in these streets, man, but we don't necessarily think that it deserves a full segment on its own. So it's a combination, a compilation, and a combination of the different things that's happening out here in these streets, man. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get it popping. Well, wait. I got to make sure that all of this is set up properly. All right, we good to go. So first and foremost, shout out to Sportsaholic. We definitely going to tap into that super chat shortly. Quando Rondo. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. We know that we have a segment of the population that watches this show that is of a certain age. And so I will not blame you for not knowing who Quando Rondo is. But Quando Rondo is following in the same steps as Kodak Black and every other rapper that we pedestalize within this culture. And he has been arrested.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Let's get straight to that breaking news. The Savannah man, known as rapper Quando Rondo, was arrested overnight by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. 24-year-old Tyquan Bowman was taken into custody on federal drug charges, according to an FBI spokesperson. Savannah police was the arresting agency. They say Bowman was pulled over at Burroughs and 37th Streets around midnight Friday. SPD says he was the passenger and the only person in the car taken to jail without incident, according to a department spokesperson. Now, the federal arrest comes nearly 6 months after Bowman and 18 others were indicted on 49 counts of state drug and gang charges. Bowman was accused of violating the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act for playing a role or managing role in the Rolling 60s gang. But his
So we just gonna leave it there because this is Quick Hits. But let me give you a little bit of context. So from Georgia, facing new drug charges Friday night in his hometown of Savannah. Now, I don't know what it's like to be a drug dealer, okay? Another thing is, I can only imagine what it's like to be one of the ringleaders, allegedly, according to the different complaints, of all of these gang members. I've never been into gangs. It's not really my thing. But more importantly, I can't imagine being 24 years old, named Tyquan Terrell Bowman, and being taken into custody on FBI drug charges. But according to the reports, it says that the Savannah Police Department pulled over the car. He was the only one in the vehicle who was arrested. Recent charges come less than a half a year, basically 6 months. So 6 months ago, you was just indicted on gang and drug charges and released on $100,000 in bond. Him and 18 others indicted in June, charged with 4 counts, including being the manager of an illegal street gang known as the Rolling 60s. Corny. His other charges include conspiring with others to distribute marijuana and buy pills of the opioid hydrocodone. After a car crash in July, the judge ruled that Bowman could no longer drive and must undergo drug testing if he wanted to stay out of jail. And you know what it is. You know, the same old story. Y'all know that the FBI and the police got their eye on you in your hometown of Savannah. You supposedly getting money doing shows and being a famous rapper, but now we got to continue to look at your mugshot on here. And so, yeah, no new news. Maybe we should just have like a segment every week of the latest rapper arrested. Anyways, in addition to that, oh man, that's not the right one. Hold on, wait. Because I know for a fact I'll replace that one. Let me just make sure that I got it. 02 for you. Okay, we're in the building. Let me make sure I got that one. 02 for you. All right, we there. All right, so in other news, ladies and gentlemen, bam. So I believe his name, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but his name is Shohei Otani. Shohei Otani. But Shohei Otani recently signed a record-setting 10-year, come on, y'all, listen. I need y'all to really hear this number. Dial in, come really, really close, because I want you to understand and hear this number. This is not nothing to play with. I know that I'll be showing all of my little receipts, but I'm feeling real small right now. Record-setting contract. Shohei, is his name Shohei? $700 million. I just got a chill that just went up my spine. $700 million is his contract. Let me bring you up to speed of what's happening in these streets, man. God.
In 716 games, a .274 hitter, 171 home runs. As a pitcher, an ERA of 3. He's made 86 starts. We know he will not pitch in 2024, coming off elbow surgery. He will be a DH. He will be a big-time hitter in a lineup that includes Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Guys, want to talk about this, though, because he so quietly on Saturday announced on social media he was joining the Dodgers, and then Jack had set the baseball world on fire when the reported numbers came out. 10 years, $700 million.
So let me get this straight. He's a pitcher, he's a hitter, and he's a baseball insider, because he made sure that he broke his own news as everyone was trying to break that news about him. So the $700 million number is eye-popping, because you look at the largest previous numbers for baseball contracts, it would be Mike Trout at about $426, and then the $70 million a year, you'd have Max Scherzer, who makes about $43. But we found out in recent hours, because of news that broke, is maybe we shouldn't be talking about $700 million as being the big number. We should be talking about $2 million or $68 million, because he agreed to defer 68 of the $70 million a year. I've got a former player rep here shaking his head.
So let me break this down for you guys, okay? Because this might be one of the smartest contracts I've ever seen in my entire life. So $68 million a year, or $680 million of it, is going to be deferred. Okay, I might have had to dedicate an entire segment to this, but I got to break this down, right? So here's the thing. Signed a 10-year, $700 million deal and a series of unprecedented deferrals, okay? In an effort to enable the Los Angeles Dodgers to continue spending around stars, which I don't think that's why he did it, he agreed to defer all but $2 million of his salary, of his annual salary, okay? $68 million of his $70 million per year until after the completion of the contract. The deferred money is to be paid out without interest from 2034 to 2043. Previously unreported deferrals, so on and so forth. So, okay, so this is how it plays out. This is how it works. He's only going to take a $2 million salary per year. Now, you also got to take into consideration that he also has other contracts and endorsements where he's making well over $50 million a year. Okay? Well over $50 million as far as what it is that he's generating from different contracts and shoe deals or whatever. They say per The Athletic, he's believed to be making about $50 million annually in non-baseball income, on top of his previous endorsement income and the roughly $42 million he made playing for the Angels. And so he's deferring $680 million of his contract to get that in 2034 through 2043. So he don't need all of the money. He don't need all of the money right now. He said, I'm good. And so we going to defer it. And then we going to continue to get the bag that way because I'm already generating over $50 million anyway. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This absolutely, positively blew my mind. When I looked at it, I thought that it was a typo. But then I realized that it wasn't a typo, and it sent a chill down my spine the way that he's managing this. It's not even just the fact that he got a $700 million contract. It's the fact that he is managing it and he's negotiating it. Brought a tear to my eye. Now, I'm not a person that likes to count other people's money, but that just brought a tear to my eyes. So shout out to Shohei. Getting to the bag. I don't even want to go over to the next story, but we got to get to the next story. Good God almighty. Epic versus Google. Now, Google has lost a battle with Epic. Let me bring you up to speed of what's going on outside in the tech world.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Google losing a major antitrust battle with Epic Games. The one and only Steve Kovac is here to break down what happened and maybe debate with us about
we'll figure this one out.
Jury is right.
Let me set the stage and then we'll chat it out here. But look, a jury ruled last night, Google, it has monopoly power over the App Store. The verdict comes from a case brought by Epic Games. That's, of course, the company behind Fortnite. And it caps a 3-year legal battle between those two companies. Epic Games in 2020 sued both Apple and Google, claiming they held monopoly power over their app stores, which let them squeeze app companies for up to 30% of their sales. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney cheering the decision, calling it victory over Google on X last night. It's the company's first major legal win in its years-long fight against Apple and Google. Now, after this weeks-long trial featuring execs like Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai and Epic Sweeney, it only took the jury a few hours to come back with a unanimous verdict against Google. Now the judge in the case will decide what the punishment for Google will be. At risk, that slice Google takes from money spent within apps distributed through the Google Play Store. The judge will make that decision after the new year. But it's going to be a long time before Google feels any pain, if it even happens at all. A Google exec telling us in a statement it will appeal the decision, a process that could take years and could even go all the way to the Supreme Court. And guys, speaking of the Supreme Court, we're expected to hear next month whether or not it will take up the case Epic mostly lost against Apple. That was back in 2021.
Now, remember that this same lawsuit was filed against both Google and Apple. And at the time, it was groundbreaking because the idea of it was, especially during the pandemic where Fortnite absolutely exploded and all of these other games, these battle royale games, these first-person shooters and everything like that, right? And what happened was there was a lawsuit filed because Epic Games, which is the owner of Fortnite, was basically complaining that, or I'm sorry, Apple and Google were reining in Epic Games because Epic was trying to circumvent the payment process to go outside of these places and then have in-game purchases, which these specific purchases was being purchased on their platforms, but they weren't getting their cut. So Apple owns the App Store, and then Google owns its App Store. And then in order for you to be able to do business in their App Store, you have to give them their cut. It's similar to what happens here on YouTube. We're leveraging their platform. We're getting the word out. We're making it easy and convenient for people to be able to tune in because they already have an ecosystem in which they push out and host a lot of these shows, right? And so as a result of it, YouTube gets a cut of the revenue that is generated, especially through ads, from what it is that we do here on the Millionaire Morning Show and in every other platform that we host here on the platform. Same thing goes for Facebook. Same thing goes over there for Rumble and so on and so forth, right? But the key was that Epic was trying to say that, hey, man, they got a monopoly and we should get more of the money and all of this other type of stuff. And so it set off these antitrust lawsuits in which they lost mostly against Apple. But for whatever reason, and I'm gonna deep dive into this a little bit more, for whatever reason, they they beat Google. But now what happens is nobody is going to get no money. The lawyers are the ones that's getting paid. There's going to be a years long appeal process, which could then go all the way up to the Supreme Court, and then they could be reversed on these decisions and so on and so forth. So basically, this is just money just being thrown around, and you're never going to really see any real results of it until years later. And this has already been a 3-year ordeal. So sometimes, especially with these larger companies, when you file a lawsuit, it could cost you more in the long run than you actually get as a result of whatever it is that you're going to get in the short term. So they decided to take this fight on. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars that's being spent. But I'll keep y'all up to date, and I'll keep an eye on what's going on here with this particular issue. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Quick Hits. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show because we got a lot to cover. AP1804 says, hey, Anton, is it too late for a 35-year-old to get into software development? Absolutely not. You're only 35 years old? Absolutely not. Hecky no. You need to go full-fledged into it if that's the thing that you're going to do. Don't mean that you need to quit your job, but get right into it. Absolutely not. You are still a baby. You are still, let me tell you something. Most men don't even get their lives together or start to figure out what it is that they want to do with their life until they get into their 30s. You got it, bro. Don't worry about it. Keep pushing. Make sure you join the Chasers. Sportsaholic Gerard says, good morning, Anton, and all of the Chasers. Are we still getting that sports show you promised? I'm working on it. I don't know if I'm going to be the one to host it, but I'm going to have to fit it in between my new ventures. So I got 2 new ventures that I got coming. One of them being Apt Hours. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because it's going to be absolutely awesome. Thank you, Sportsaholic. Chris J says, good news, $700 million, 10 years, bad news, California state taxes. You can avoid that. A lot of people don't know that you can really avoid a lot of that. Chris also says, okay, that makes more sense. Smart man. Shout out to my dog, Chris J. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. Let's get into the show. So, the first thing that I want to start with before I bring Houston to the front of the congregation, is what is going on at our borders. They are saying the offenders and gangs are among the 20,000 people that recently easily walked right into our borders with no help from Border Patrol whatsoever. I think it's time for us to really address the real elephant in the room and make sure that we bring Biden to the front of the congregation. Again, make sure you get that Teach Hanley. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get it, y'all.
At the southern border, because new video shows a big group of migrants slipping through a gap in the border fence into Arizona. Apparently not finished there.
Yeah, they cut it. Our border seems to be breaking records every day with a number of criminals being apprehended over the past weekend, but then let go.
Crazy. Griff Jenkins is live at the epicenter of it all, Eagle Pass, Texas. Hey, Griff.
Hey, good morning, guys. And let me show you, we have yet another large group arriving here right now behind me. Now, it is 38 degrees. You can see my breath. Wind is blowing, it's frigid, but yet as the light's coming up, and I'm gonna have my cameraman Dalton just push in there, bear with me with the lighting conditions, but this is what we've been seeing every single day. Not sure how big this group is, but you can see just beyond the bodies here lining up on that razor wire is the river. Yesterday, there were more than 2,200 migrant crossings here just in the Del Rio sector. I encountered one man from Angola. They had some 20 plus Haitians. Seeing Haitians again is really alarming the officials because they haven't seen them for a while, since going back 2 years when, of course, you saw the tens of thousands under the bridge in Del Rio. This is the second day in a row we've had Haitians of concern here, and that is all part of the problem. Now, if we want to split the screen possibly or take you out to Lukeville, you can see the Lukeville numbers also surging, and that is what the officials are sounding the alarm on because we haven't seen those. Now, among the migrants coming across, and in Lukeville, you've got people from Bangladesh, Egypt, China, Senegal, all over the world. In addition to, in this area, I should point out, it is still largely Venezuelans, but also people from Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua. And we've been harping on that stat that 5,000 migrants a day are being released in the country. That's pulling these people. It is a magnet unlike we've ever seen on the border. Officials know it. Now lawmakers like Tony Gonzalez knows it, but yet the administration doesn't seem to be doing anything and not realizing what they're doing to pull them. The border.
Two questions as I show this to you guys, because I've been on top of this for a long time now. I've been harping on it. I've been leveraging my platform in order to bring visibility to it. I've been talking about this all the way down to how it affects you personally. Are we broke to the point to where we can't address this issue on our own home turf? As to the people that are just walking into this country with no vetting, no supervision. We went from sanctuaries, asylum seekers, and that came from illegal immigration, to now it's basically no border whatsoever. We don't even have borders. It's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind because we have trillions of dollars that we allocate towards protecting other countries, social services, prison systems, victim Olympics, and we can't get adequate funding or laws in place to where we're actually closing off this could quite possibly be one of the biggest, because you got to remember, when we were talking about and when we really revisit, for example, the Obama administration, I'm not even going to talk about the Bush administration, the second one, the youngest one. When we talk about and we revisit the Obama administration, during that time, everybody was very much gung-ho about the fact that Obama was in office. I mean, black people, white people, everybody alike was very, very excited. And at the time, they were cheering on and heralding, so much so to where he basically had no opposition when he got reelected the second time. It was no opposition whatsoever. And so when you take this into consideration, right, and you got to remember Mitt Romney, all of these people, right, take this into consideration, and then we revisit the legacy. We realize the error in our ways, and we say, man, maybe we got it wrong. I mean, definitively we saying that we kind of got it wrong. Most of us know that we got it wrong. When you get past the optics and the representation and all of this other type of stuff, most of us know that we got it wrong when it came to what we voted for with Obama being in office. Now that you consider the alphabet agenda that's being pushed, his legacy largely being stamped on that, the Affordable Care Act really not making a dent. He gave out a bunch of Obama phones and, so on and so forth, right? And so when we look back at that, we like, man, they gave us trash. Nothing for us at all. And I believe that this is going to be 10 times worse. I believe that if you have the ability to get your passport, you should. I believe that you need to be making and taking strategic steps to secure and then pivot and plan accordingly for what your future could be, because I am not sure that Rome is not falling right before our eyes. This is my honest opinion. I believe that Rome is falling. I do. I believe that the United States of America is in huge, grave trouble, danger. And me personally, as for me and my household, we are planning and we're also being proactive because we don't want to be caught up in this BS. This is crazy. I have never, ever seen, when we look back at this moment 20 years from now, and your kids are the one that suffer as a result of what it is that we allow to go on as far as the people that we elected in office, what we regret. Let me play a little bit more.
Border Patrol chief, by the way, tweeted out yesterday a figure I gave you, which was the 20,000 migrants over the weekend. But in addition, let me show you this tweet. He put a few more details. You see here, they also had 3 sex offenders, 3 gang members, a few of their convictions, lewd and lascivious acts with a child under 14. Unbelievable. I got a chance yesterday to sit down with the independent mayor, Rolando Salinas, here in Eagle Pass. I asked him about all this and about the administration. Have they come down here and visit? He says no. I said, do you feel like they're going to do anything for you? Here's what he had to say.
We just kind of have to fend for ourselves here in Eagle Pass. We do our best with what we have. It's unacceptable. We feel 100% ignored by the federal government, by the administration. They don't bother to give us a call. Nobody bothers to tell us what the plan of action is.
So at the front lines, at the cities and the states that are on the front lines of this, where is he at? Where is our president? And let me just be clear. It's not just him. What happened to all of our Congress members and our Senate members and our House of Representatives? So we just abandoned the people that is at the forefront of trying to protect our country, and it doesn't even matter anymore. So everybody could just do whatever it is that they want to do when they want to do it. And that's the end of the conversation. We have heard nothing from him since he was out there protesting with the UAW members, talking about, yes, make sure that you pay all of our people a fair wage. We have heard nothing, zero, nada, zilch, on any issues that are meaningful outside of him pitching the UAW in order to try to get an endorsement so that he can get another election, which is a strong possibility that he could win it again. And then Kamala Harris, I don't know if y'all remember this. When they got elected into office, him and Cam, she was supposed to be tasked with addressing our border issues. That was the foremost number one thing that she was supposed to be working on, was our border issues. She was supposed to be at the forefront of the movement. What happened? What is happening in this country?
And just lastly, before I let you go, I'm just going to push one more time because we're just getting some light on these migrants and make the point, which is why these agents are so overwhelmed. Here in the Eagle Pass area, you've got no more than about 40 agents on any given shift. They've been working around the clock, being overwhelmed 50 to 1, 60 to 1. Out in Lukeville, we learned the ratio of illegal immigrants crossing to Border Patrol agents on the line. It's 200 to 1. That is creating the challenge that they have here, and it is one that just simply isn't giving them a break. That's why they're reaching a breaking point. That's why morale is suffering. And as the sun comes up, and I wish I had a little more light, I'd give it to you, you're going to see this all day long. Yesterday, we had at least 4 large groups of well over 100. We'll see what we're in for today. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Hey. This is crazy. Honestly, I believe this is. I've seen some pretty crazy things in my adult lifetime. One of them was what happened over in New York with the Twin Towers on September 11th. I don't even think that we still authorized to be able to speak to that. You speak to that, you might get zipped up, tripped up, taking a trip over into a completely different space where you don't even know, and they got blindfolds over you. You start using your platform for that. I ain't seen a content creator that survived talking about openly what happened on September 11th yet. And I got my opinion. I done seen some stuff in my lifetime that was just like, wow, they just gonna do that right in front of my face? They gonna piss on me and tell me that it's raining? They gonna piss on me and tell me that it was raining? I seen some stuff in my lifetime that just blew my mind. Real talk. And I know a lot of y'all just believe what you see and that what's on the surface is the end of the conversation based off of what they pitch to you. But man, let me tell you something, bro. I've seen a lot of stuff in my short 41 years on this earth, and I don't think that we done. I think that we just getting started. I'm amazed how this type of stuff is just playing out right in front of our face. Do you know that I got my first strike? Do y'all know what I got my first strike on this channel was about? It was the only strike that I've ever gotten in my entire life. It's actually set to fall off in January. It's set to fall off in January. You know what I got my first strike about? When I had an opinion on what was going on during the pandemic. I'm sure you can read between the lines. I knew then when I had an opinion during what was happening during the pandemic. I didn't give any false misinformation. I didn't tell people what they should do. I got my first strike, the only one that I've ever gotten in my entire life during the pandemic. And it's just now set to fall off in January. That's why I'm so careful with my words. I'm like, you know what? Nah. Ain't nobody checking for time. If time get banned or time something happened to me, they're gonna be like, oh my God, what happened to Anton? 2 weeks later, you're gonna move on to somebody else. I seen some stuff in my lifetime, and I just continue to see it, and I just be like, okay. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we just going to continue on with the show. If you guys can't read between the lines in order to catch the wave, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm smart enough as a C student to know what the streets is talking about, though. Queen V says, America sure know how to hurt our feelings. Crying. JP07 says, if you left the U.S., where would you recommend to go? I can't tell you where to go. I'm telling you that you need to explore, go and see the world, and don't just limit yourself. Listen, here's my thing. I think that people should go and visit a lot of different places. That's one of the reasons why it's important And why I push y'all to have financial freedom, because I don't want you to be limited based off of your options, right? I think that you should go and visit every place, and you should have a bucket list of 20 to 40 places that you want to go and see and experience authentically. And I'm talking about getting off of the reservation, staying out of these resorts, going and actually experiencing the city, live in it, work in it, live there for at least a week or two, right? Go and experience different places, cheap, expensive, whatever. At the very top of my list was Tokyo. I finally got there. I experienced it. It was the best traveling experience that I've ever had in my entire life, right? And I have some other cities that's on the list coming in 2024. I'm going to Italy. I'm going to Rome. I'm going to a lot of places. I'm not just going to be going to Dubai. I know y'all want to go over to Dubai so some chic can take your girl and then crotch over or some crap like that. Nah, man, y'all need to go out and visit the world. The world is huge. It is bigger than your hood and your neighborhood that you keep trying to represent and saying that that's your street, that somebody else named. Elevated Mind Healer is in the building, says, thank you for the knowledge daily. Biden is just like the Bush administration. Everyone, please prepare peace and love everyone. Shout out to Elevated Mind Healer. I love people like this. I appreciate you for holding me down. Thank you, my love, and thank you for contributing into the platform. Jones FX 426 says, with what's going on, what's the point in voting again? Oh, no, you still need to vote. I'm not telling you to not participate in the process, but I am telling you to also prepare accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Queen V is in the building, says, as a whole, I really wish we understood how powerful we are. It's way more citizens than our administration. I refuse to believe we this sorry. We're this sorry. We are this sorry. Absolutely. Queen V says, give us your 9/11 theory, even if it's in the Patreon. Man, maybe I need to do more Patreon live streams. That's just behind the wall. I don't know. Kung Fu Hustler says, Big Brother is always protecting their narrative. That's a fact, though. Let's continue on with the show, because I don't want to get caught up in things that I should not be getting caught up in the first place, because we got to protect the bag. One thing is for sure. Do things is for certain. We still got to protect the bag. Reading super chats throughout the show. H-Town down. H-Town down. I just need to just show y'all who y'all are. I'm going to give you a slight preview of what's to come. I went and I searched what was happening out here in these streets over the last 24 to 48 hours. I'm not going to lie. I was not happy with what it was that I found, what was going on in Houston. You know, y'all got a different type of crime. And I don't know if it's just the area, the location, or whatever, but y'all got a different type of crime. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Only on Fox tonight, some residents who live in a small upscale townhouse condominium in the Galleria area say they're witnessing sex parties and violence. It's actually become a weekend occurrence, and they blame short-term leasing as the cause. Fox 26's Randy Wallace is joining us live from the Galleria area tonight with this crazy story. Randy.
Tell us about it, Randy.
Yeah, Caroline. Now, we sat down and talked with 7 residents. The ones that we interviewed on camera, they asked that we not show their face, say their names, and all but one wanted their voices altered.
Now, remember, guys, everything that we're having a conversation about is spirit of moment, happened over the last 24 to 48 hours, okay? So I just want y'all to take that into consideration as far as the context, all right?
It's all due to an Airbnb out of control.
So if I can describe in one word what happened to the neighborhood is filth. They bring filth to this established family neighborhood.
These townhouses are on a street right off of San Felipe. The $500,000, 3,200 square feet homes offer a lot to like, except come-and-go neighbors on the weekends.
2 individuals decided to engage into some adult activities right there, right in front of us.
Residents say their driveways are routinely blocked by gun-toting pot smokers.
Not the gun-toting pot smokers. Not getting it on the balcony, literally right in front of the kids. Right in front of the kids. Yeah, don't worry. We just getting started. I promise you. We just now getting started. You telling me that y'all busting it down in front of the children? Gun-toting, pot smoking, hot hoeing right in front of the children. And this is what y'all doing in Houston. So Atlanta said we going to Houston. And this is what we doing out here in these streets. Let's continue.
Complaining could get you killed.
Exactly. Even doing this is making me scared for me and my family, and it shouldn't be so.
What did you think when you saw the sex act on the balcony?
It was terrible. I felt terrible. This was on a Monday morning. We could have had kids. There's an elementary school, 2 minutes away from us.
There are acts of violence. There are multiple police reports. There are acts of indecency.
Residents have sent more than 87 emails to HPD since June. Many of us have called 311 and HPD from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the hope to have cops help us to end this nightmare permanently. Has the nightmare ended?
No.
Is it worse?
Yes.
It's kind of destroyed my morale in being in this neighborhood.
Shout out to all of my ladies that's built like ants, walking through the neighborhood with no pants. Shout out to my ladies that's built like ants, walking through the neighborhood without no pants, but she did have a swimsuit on, so, it was what it was, but no shoes, weaving and sandaling it up like my dog O'Shea Duke Jackson would say, and out here ruining lives and performing acts on top of the balcony. Okay, let's get. Don't worry. As a matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I don't want to just paint y'all in a negative light just based off of what it was that I've seen over the last 24 to 48 hours. Let me bring you up to speed of what's happening out here.
Right now, we are learning more about a shooting where a man with a concealed carry license uses his weapon and fires back at 2 attackers, wounding one of them and killing the other. It all went down in Humboldt Park overnight.
I'm sorry. This was the wrong one. I meant to go to something different. I had something lined up for Chicago. Don't worry, Chicago. We're going to revisit this one right now. But let's go back over to Houston really quickly.
Video that could honestly be from an action movie. This is a robbery in Southwest Houston that got the feds' attention because these bad guys took dozens of guns that are still missing. You're watching Fox 26 Crime Files. I'm Abigail Dye. Now, that violent robbery is something we don't see every day. Ski masks, victims on the floor. That's complete chaos. Matthew Seedorf has this exclusive.
New dramatic video from Friday's pawn shop robbery. 3 masked thieves inside Cash America Pawn in Southeast Houston wearing navy and black. One suspect making a worker open the safe, a second dragging the staff member into the room at gunpoint.
The fact that they move in quick and it's almost like they have, been inside the store before, or at least had knowledge of kind of how the store is laid out.
This robber frantically smashing locked cases. Another holding a gun to the back of an employee's neck for what must have seemed like an eternity.
Oh, don't worry. I know that they didn't bring Houston to the front of the congregation because y'all thought that y'all city was just chilling and safe. This is what's happening overnight. Let's continue.
Thieves stealing jewelry, almost $20,000, and at least 34 firearms.
Here recently, we've seen a slight uptick in these robberies. So we don't know if we're dealing with a crew that has done this before or if this is something new to them. But nonetheless, our main concern is bringing these individuals into custody before they end up hurting somebody.
Stolen guns, a major problem right now across Houston. Last year, more than 4,000 firearms taken from inside cars alone.
We've had apartment complexes with 40, 50, 60 cars broken into and nothing missing. They're looking for guns.
The initial act obviously was egregious and violent, but
no, he didn't steal my word and say egregious.
The additional concern is where are these firearms going and who are they going to and how are they going to be used?
ATF now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of these 3 pawn shop thieves. Reporting in Houston, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
An entire family, including young children, seeing something horrific that they won't ever forget. Fox 26's Dominique Keith spoke with the family who had to watch a deadly shooting.
Here outside Garza's tire shop is where a man spent his last moments alive. Tragically, 3 little children had to witness that fatal shooting.
Fue horroroso. It was a scary moment for him.
Scary not only for the owner of Garza's tire shop here on Lockwood Drive, who's speaking with us through an interpreter, but also for his wife and 3 children who were visiting him at work.
You know, the kids were playing around and people just come pull up and they start shooting each other. So it's kind of traumatizing for him.
Surveillance video captured the chaos. 53-year-old Dwayne Robinson was driving this light brown pickup truck before he was shot to death. And according to witnesses, the gunman was in this maroon SUV. And
you want to see a culprit? Want to see who your friends and family is? Y'all want to see the people that's out here performing? Don't worry, we got a whole compilation of what's been happening over the last 48 hours in Houston. Yeah, come on up. Come on up to the front of the congregation with this great American city.
Anthony Ray Gardner has been arrested for the shooting. Court records show in 2001, Gardner killed a man by beating him with a bat. Now Gardner is charged with murdering Robinson and being a felon in possession of a firearm.
One guy started shooting the other guy, and it happened too fast that when he came out, he just seen the man just bleeding.
Witnesses thought the victim would survive.
The man that got shot, he thought he was gonna live because he got shot. He fell to the ground, got up again, walked around the truck.
The tire shop owner and his workers are now praying for the man to rest in peace.
Don't worry about it. We got a whole compilation of things to go through, but I'm going to preserve this for you. And I'm going to go back over to something a little bit different. I want to show you what's happening on the financial side of Houston.
New at 10, we are hearing from the victim of a scary robbery caught on video. This video shows the robbers shocking a woman with a taser just minutes after she left a bank. The robbers then went on a shopping spree. ABC 13's Jessica Willie is joining us live now to share what this victim told her tonight. Jess?
Yeah, and Erica, the victim wanted to share her story because she wants to warn others. She says you never know when you can become a victim. She was just sitting in her car in this parking lot when she was attacked. Small in stature, she fought back and tried to run after them even after she had been shocked with a taser.
It was so scary.
It was a daytime robbery earlier this month. The 25-year-old victim unsuspecting.
He looked like 17, no older than 19 years old.
So y'all got 17 and 19-year-olds snatching people up out of their car, mass robberies, stealing nothing but guns, felons walking around on the street that didn't beat people to death before is out here doing hits on people that don't even speak English. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there.
I couldn't believe a kid was attacking me like that.
A surveillance camera captured it all. As she was about to get out of her car, one robber opened the door and demanded her purse. Somehow, a taser didn't slow her down. She fought back and ran after them.
In the moment, I didn't feel like I was tased. Like, I had so much adrenaline, so much fight in me that I was just fighting him back. But right after, my whole arm was red, and later that night, my whole body was sore.
They stole her purse with everything in it and didn't waste any time to use her credit card, stopping for food before heading to the Galleria, where more cameras captured the foursome.
They went to Burberry, Foot Locker, Cane's.
These dudes committed let me tell you how dumb the criminals in Houston are. They committed a felony, multiple different felonies, tased somebody, took their stuff, and then they went shopping. And guess what? If you look at the camera, they fit the description. I keep telling y'all, if you not a criminal, cut your hair, fam. If you're not a criminal, look, bro, look. You fit the description. And don't sit here and tell me about how you don't know what the description is or anything like that. You fit the description. They went shopping at Burberry. They got something to eat. They did everything. They went straight to the Galleria and they had them a good old time, them and their friends. They was in there flexing. They probably on TikTok showing the money. Woo! I love this show. You know why I love this show? Because all we have to do is display what the truth is, and then we can draw our own conclusions. Don't take my word for it. Take their word for it.
Burger King. They were able to charge about $400 worth of merchandise, but were declined at one store. One robber appears to look up in frustration. It was a perfect.
Ain't nothing like a dude that get his card denied and be like this. Peace up, H-Town down.
Picture. This victim so scared now she asked to remain anonymous and hasn't been able to leave her home by herself.
I need them to be caught. Like, this needs to be stopped. They need to learn their lesson and they need to find God. They need to find a better thing to do, a job.
You know what the worst part about it is? As we show all of our
They need to
culprits
find
and the
something.
people that are walking around with their supply and demand shirts on, hey, homie got the same jacket on that he had when he robbed her. Same jacket on as he had when he robbed her. You know what the interesting thing about this whole thing is? Y'all gonna tell us to make sure that we support the youth, go out there and preach. Them boys is out there at Burberry and eating some Raisin Canes and got some Whoppers from Burger King. They're not thinking about what I'm trying to tell them. Slow money, they can go and just snatch and beat up somebody and tase them and take their purse without any kind of retribution, any kind of accountability whatsoever. And they all hanging out down there in Houston. And let me tell you what the worst part about this type of crime is, right? Trust me, I know. When you get robbed or somebody take your stuff or they take your wallet or something like that and they take your money or they carjack you, the worst part about it is that they got the keys to your crib or they have your ID and they know where you live. That's the worst part about it, is that you can't sleep. You can't sleep. I never went back, not one day, not even that same night. I never went back to the place that I lived at when I got jammed up. I never went back to the place that I lived at once I got jammed up. I got me and my family up out of there and we straight up moved. I never went back to the place because you got my keys. You know where I live. You know everything about me. You got my ID. You got everything. You got the keys to my car. Hopefully they catch him. Hopefully they catch him. Hold on. Let me move back a little bit real quick. Let me go back to one other thing and see something real quick.
Fernando was at work in this West Houston office building when police arrested Alberto Flores and Jose Uzeta from their suite. Fernando says he saw a lot of people in and out of that suite over time that's now locked and empty with an
Y'all got fake dentists, robbers, killers, dealers, stealers, and then parties with people with BBLs getting it bust down on balconies in neighborhoods that you're not supposed to be in at all. So we just going to go span the gamut, and we going to give y'all the quick hits of what's happening out here in Houston as John Whitmire tries to come in and clean up what's happening out here in these streets. I think that they got a long road ahead of them. As we slowly, I wanted to give you a summary of what it is that I'm seeing out here in these Houston streets. As we slowly but surely explore the crevices and the cracks of what's happening out here in Houston, Texas, I just want to be clear that as you guys came out in an 8.3% voter turnout rate to determine who was going to be the leader of your city, let me say it one more time. As Houston showed up with a 8.3% voter turnout rate, we see why. Over 2.8 million people living in Houston, and less than 200,000 people actually voted for your mayor. Let's see if we can go through a little bit more and see what's happening.
Offender gets a get-out-of-jail-free card after failing to register time after time again. Randy Wallace has the story in his Breaking Bond series.
In 1996, Jerome Desra Howard is convicted of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The victim, a 13-year-old girl.
You're going to register for life because that's a very serious offense.
Howard had different plans.
He's got 4 felony convictions of failure to comply with the sex offender registry.
3 of those convictions sent Howard to state jail. For some unknown reason, he got probation in 2015 for the 4th conviction.
For the same offense, you get put on probation. I can't figure that one out. It makes zero rhyme or reason.
We have to help them kind of undo some thinking patterns.
Judy O'Brien is a licensed sex offender treatment provider.
He probably knows how to beat the system. He probably knows and wants to beat the system because that's a game.
It's a game Howard would win. In 2020, the court filed this order unsatisfactorily discharging Howard from community supervision. That's not a legal term and is apparently only used by judges in Harris County.
He was rewarded for being a failure.
I think he was just trying to beat the system, like he could get away with it.
Looks like he kind of did.
Looks like he kind of did. 4 times.
Last year, Howard is charged with possession with intent to deliver meth, his 6th criminal charge. Still, a magistrate grants Howard a PR bond or get-out-of-jail-free card.
Let me rewind this. I just want y'all to see who it is that you guys should be looking for out here in these streets. Okay? This is Houston specifically. So if you see this man in Houston, he's graduated, and these are the different mugshots. I knew that I couldn't trust him because if I looked in the lower left-hand corner, I didn't see no stash, man. Even when he decided that he wanted to be a good, upstanding citizen, he decided that he wanted to cut off his stash. So you decided to take off your stash, man. And that's how I knew that I couldn't trust you. You ain't got no hair on your face except for your eyebrows. You are an untrustworthy man. And then when he did decided that he wanted to grow a beard and a mustache, he decided that he wanted to get them things that's coming outside of his head. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. You not going to sit here, not register for the offendants, whatever it is that you got going on, be out here delivering and selling meth, getting rearrested multiple different times, and then walking around in Houston because you know that the judges ain't going to do nothing to you. Here, let me move forward a little bit and see what else we got going on out here in Houston.
Murdered just days after his 20th birthday, the family of Malachi Lopez is begging for answers as to who shot and killed this young man.
Happy birthday to you.
This video was taken 3 days before Malachi Lopez was killed.
How old are you? 20.
All we have are the sweet smile, the memories, the videos. Our child is gone.
Rest in peace to Malachi. Listen. It's a lot that's been going on in Houston over the last 48 hours. It's a lot that's going on in Houston over the last 48 hours. I'm trying to understand. Because, see, the problem is, and the thing that y'all think y'all can do, you think that because you got a whole lot of people moving there from Atlanta, that you can cover up what's happening out here in these streets because you got a bigger population now. No. We're not going to let Chicago just be the only one at the front of the congregation while y'all thinking that Houston is this blue oasis. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. It's too many unsolved crimes and mysteries and people being released out here in these streets that shouldn't be out here in the first place. And y'all think that we just going to let it rock? Don't worry. Listen. We got more that we going to cover, but not today. Not today. Shout out to Houston with the Rockets with 2 fake championships because Jordan retired. See, the Pistons actually beat Jordan. Houston got 2 false championships, and y'all let a dude with no knees and Kenny Smith shoot y'all out of the fight. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Let me go ahead and read some of these hateful super chats. I know some of them is good and some of it is hateful. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. DNN says, any takes on the Leave the World Behind movie? I don't know if I ever seen that before. Leave the World Behind movie? Send me a link to it. I'm going to have to see what's happening out here in these streets, and I'll watch it and keep y'all updated. Black Silver Chair in the building says, Anton, this is why people have HOAs. I don't think that they got HOAs. I think they got HOEs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Chris J says, look, he feeling some type of way. Look, he feeling some type of way. Look, I'm going to just read the number 4 one. 2 teens arrested for stealing the tip jar. Really? That's what you got, Chris? That's what you got? Listen, y'all getting picked off in the streets. So what in Detroit? They had number 2, 7-Eleven fight due to no coffee. Okay, so we had a little scrap. You had a couple teens that got arrested for stealing the tip jar. Hold them accountable. But for some reason, I don't think that is as egregious as somebody getting their head cracked in, snatched up out of their car, murdered on the street, and all of this other nonsense. Is this the best that you could do? Huh? Would you like for me to go and revisit how they stole out of the tip jar? Oh, y'all ain't got nothing on me. Michael Scott in the building says, when you doing a St. Louis meetup? Now, St. Louis, I might have to bring them to the front of the congregation before I do. I might have to do the front of the congregation St. Louis edition after I do the meetup because I don't want y'all feeling some type of way. I heard St. Louis is like the Lou. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Michael. I appreciate you. Eric Harris is in the building, says, AD warned Houston he going to find dirt on you. Oh, it ain't hard to find. Houston? I've been to Houston multiple different times. I said, who are these people that keep on trying to rob me in the parking garage in the location where everybody told me to go? They out here trying to hustle me. Kung Fu Hustler says, it's always ninjas. Sick of them all. All right? I'm not self-hating, but we need a black population reduction now. They're bad for everybody. Now, Kung Fu Hustler, you know they're going to come for you like Oprah. Chris J says, I can do this all day. I'll be in Detroit soon. Well, make sure that you get your Burberry scarf because it's going to be cold, but it'll definitely be safe. All right, Chris? Chris says, crimes in Houston is slow. Tuesday in Detroit, if all they doing is stealing tip jars, Chris, don't feel bad. At least we don't have 2 fake championships. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Queen V says, bring B-Ham to the front too. Oh, send me the stuff. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. Send it to me. Chris says, wait until I do a live show from Detroit. I'll send you an invite. Don't be in your feelings when I pull up. I'm in the streets every day. You know what? I don't understand the black community. And you know why I don't understand the black community before I get into this next segment? Why do we always think that we can hide our dirt by putting it on somebody else? Neither here nor there. We'll get to that. The Harvard president, which I was surprised. Did you know that over at MIT and Harvard, that the president of Harvard was, first of all, that it was a black woman. That's A. And then B, on top of that, Azriel says, when did the Pistons last win a championship? 2004, ma'am. We've won championships since Houston got their fake championship from Jordan, but we're not going to go there. We won them before y'all, and then we won them after y'all. So shout out to Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Lindsey Hunter, Mike James. Shout out to all of the 2000 Mamedo Core. Shout out to the 2004 Pistons for beating Shaq and Kobe, the Los Angeles. Both of y'all legends that y'all think is the greatest, we beat them both. We beat Shaq and Kobe. We beat Jordan and Pippen. We beat Magic and Bird. We beat Kareem. We beat them all. All of your legends that y'all think is supposed to be at the top of the food chain, the Pistons beat them. So we not even going to talk about it right now. As far as sports is concerned, Houston, I'm going to need you to take a back seat right now. Now, we're going to talk about this black woman over at Harvard that they're calling for her job. Okay? Okay, Pumpkin? Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Tonight, the pressure is growing on the presidents of the elite universities of Harvard and MIT to resign. This weekend, the president of the University of Pennsylvania, Liz McGill, stepping down after critics blasted her testimony before Congress about anti-Semitism on campus. Harvard's president, Claudine Gay, also being criticized for this response.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
Does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign.
That Congresswoman, Republican Elise Stefanik, tweeted after the resignation at UPenn, 1 down, 2 to go, referencing the leaders at Harvard and MIT. Harvard's president did later apologize, writing in part on X, "Let me be clear, calls for violence or genocide against the Jewish community or any religious or ethnic group are vile. They have no place at Harvard, and those who threaten our Jewish students will be held to account." But that hasn't quieted her critics, including the billionaire alumnus Bill Ackman, who is actively pushing for her resignation. Jonathan Greenblatt is CEO of the Anti-Defamation League. Is ADL calling for these leaders to resign?
I think ADL is saying we want action. And if the presidents prepare clear and well-developed plans to their boards, demonstrate how they are prepared to take real, immediate steps, I think that may allay many of the concerns.
So they're basically saying that because we interpreted what you said at a hearing, even though she never said, now listen, I have to be fair. I have to be absolutely fair. I'm not for women necessarily in every leadership position. However, obviously, her as a Harvard president is more than capable of being able to handle herself appropriately and manage an entire school, one of our historic universities in the United States of America. She never, ever said, and just because you got sassy with her and just because you said a whole bunch of stuff to her does not mean that she ever supported or said in any way, shape, or form, even though you tried to trap her, she was smart enough in order to be able to compose herself and maintain her femininity or masculinity, however you want to frame it. They never asked her for the context. And this is one of the reasons why I can't stand politicians. I think of all of the people on the face of this earth outside of criminals that destroy your community, I can't stand politicians that push an agenda in order to create visibility for themselves at the expense of hopefully getting you fired from your job. But let's continue.
Universities across the country have faced mounting criticism over their response to the war. Some Jewish and Muslim students say too little is being done to protect them.
It's important for people to understand that we're all in it together and everyone is hurt and everyone feels, quite disturbed by, this situation.
What situation? I'm honestly, and I'm open to learning and having a better understanding. I'm very much following what is happening with the Israel war and everything like that. But I'm trying to understand what violence and what has anybody said over here in the United States of America? Because let's be clear, we're allocating a ton of military resources and monies in order to support this against the wishes of the majority of the residents and the constituents that voted in our presidents, Congress members, and lawmakers. So even though we're against spending money supporting what it is that you say you need to be protected from, I have heard nobody, zero, and when I mean zero, I am very much in the mire and trying to understand what is happening within our culture. I have heard 0 people, and when I say 0, I mean 0, anybody say anything that would warrant you needing extra provisions and protections or for somebody to be brought to the front of the congregation. I have no reason, I have no understanding as to why they even asked her this question in the first place.
Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Let me play a different view of it, and hopefully we can get some. Because Cuomo said that she needs to be fired.
Professor does not agree with my assessment, but I will try it again now with Alan Dershowitz, Harvard Law Professor Emeritus. And look, of course, this is almost a moot point that there should be autonomy on university campuses, and they shouldn't just bow to political pressure. The problem is, that's exactly how this all started, professors, that they decided to play politics on campus about what they like to hear and what they don't like to hear. And it's just that anti-Semitism didn't seem to get the same veil of protection that LGBTQAI plus or race does.
Well, first of all, the professor said that we should respond to these things not by pressure, but by, her words were, evidence and rational analysis. The letter didn't contain one word of evidence or rational analysis. There have been hundreds of pages of criticism directed not only at President Gay's statement, but about Harvard's entire policy of having emphasis on race. And this letter doesn't say a word. It doesn't try to answer. It doesn't try to debate. It just said, don't listen to a word that Rich.
Kenya's from Cali says, let me read Kenya from Cali because I love to interact with the chat while they're calling for this woman's job. I'm amazed. Kenya from Cali says, you maybe should have looked up incidents on campus before doing this segment, fam, humbly and respectfully. Okay, well, humbly and respectfully, whatever incidents that's happening on campus has nothing to do with leadership response. And what we're talking about here, as you can see from the actual title at the bottom, is that the Harvard president is under fire and they're calling for her job because of something that they tried to bait her into a conversation about, but did not add for or ask for any context or even try to get any understanding as to how they were communicating. Obviously, and I have done my research, but again, I want to stay on point and I don't want to get derailed from what we're talking about. Has nothing to do with whatever incidents happen on campus. Has everything to do with what's being communicated from the president. There's no way that you can just call for somebody's job based off of what you interpret how they feel about a specific political issue or something that's happening abroad. What does this have to do with the price of potatoes in China? If you want to have a segment specifically on what's happening at Ivy League campuses, then that is a completely different conversation from calling for somebody else's job and forcing them to apologize for something that they did not do. What we see happening right here, and one of the reasons why we have to be very, very careful in calling for any action against anybody, is because you're running down a slippery slope and that you're forcing somebody to do something that you want to do when they never did anything that warranted for you to call for them to do it in the first place. It makes no sense at all. At all. And listen, I'm an equal accountability smoke giver, which means that I got the same energy for men as I do for women, for black people, for white people, and so on and so forth. But you cannot just call for somebody's job and then be wanting them to get fired when it has nothing to do with anything, first of all. Secondly, they did not communicate wrong as far as what it is that they stood for or misrepresenting how it is that they're supposed to be representing the university itself. And then their job that they're doing at the university is obviously stellar, and she's more than qualified to be able to do it. And that has nothing to do. And let's be clear, Kenya from Cali, you had a respectful comment, And I am not going off on you. I'm just giving my opinion, and I'm just very passionate about calling for people's jobs. So if you guys have disagreements inside of the chat, don't come at her because she has an opinion. Debate what she's saying. Don't go at her as a person. I'm speaking to the specific comment. The comment was what was going on campus with regard to leadership at MIT and Harvard. As far as what it is that I've been able to research, she has done nothing that, in my opinion, would call for her to lose her job. That's all I'm saying. You can't just start taking people's jobs that they are more than qualified for when they did not misrepresent Harvard or whatever institution that they are the president or the leader of.
Alumni or the government say, no, listen to what they say. They're part of the university structure. Alumni are part of the university structure. And it's worth listening to what they have to say. And the reason that President Gay should be forced to resign is because she's not telling us the truth about Harvard. She says, and here are her quote, "We embrace a commitment to free expression." No, President Gay has never made a commitment to free expression. It's been the opposite. She's been part of cancel culture. She's been part of censorship. She's been part of the DEI bureaucracy. She discovered free speech on August 7th. The only time in her career she has ever talked about free speech is when the free speech was to engage in genocide against the Jews. You know, it's interesting. The president of the University of Pennsylvania, who probably shouldn't have been fired because she has a long history of commitment to free speech. And what she said on that day, although it was insensitive, was consistent with her long policies. But President Gay has a dismal history on due process. She ended up firing, when she was the dean of the college, a dean of one of the houses because he represented Harvey Weinstein. And she said he had to play a pastoral role. And the pastoral role means you have to make sure your students feel safe. Right. By that standard, she should be fired. She did not make the Jewish students feel safe.
So we're trying to fire people based off of how they feel. And see, this is what I do not like. And again, I have not done a deep dive into every single stance that she's taken on history as far as what's going on campus and everything like that. We standing on business when it comes to this specific issue. Nobody called for her to be canceled or to be removed or fired. When you had any other issue, don't come to me now talking about you want to dig up everything that you disagreed with in my past in order to try to substantiate whether or not you feel a certain type of way. What are you talking about? Making you feel safe. What do you mean? What is this feeling thing? I don't understand. So if I come to you and I say, I don't feel like working today, should you be able to? No. I'm not calling for her to be removed based off of a political witch hunt. And again, I'm not a person that even stands for apparently whatever it is that she represents. But let's be very, very clear. One of the beauties of living in this country is having a difference of opinion and being able to stand on that. And it not affecting what it is that you do for a living, for how it is that you actually execute on your job. I don't believe in that. She has not been caught up in any wrongdoings. She hasn't been exposed for being a scumbag. She ain't got no kids under her house or nothing like that. Come on, man. We not doing it. Because and one of the reasons why I want to be very, very clear on where I stand on this is because you got to remember how it affects you. If you don't want for people to look at you and leverage how they feel about you in a way in which it prevents you from being able to earn from your family, then you cannot do that to other people. You can't do that to other people. Just because somebody else has a difference of opinion from you, which they didn't even substantiate that she stands on anything different or that she's actually supporting or against anything. They didn't even ask her for the context. Just because somebody got a difference of opinion than you, don't mean that you could just call for somebody else's job. That's crazy. You can't just call for somebody else's job just because you don't like them. You can't do that. Regardless of whether or not I agree with her or I disagree with her, if you don't have any, you know what? You know why I'm so passionate about this? Is because I've seen plenty of men lose their jobs because of how somebody else felt about them, because of how they felt they made them feel based off of accusations. Too many men. And we have to set a standard that has to be a baseline, regardless of what your sexuality is or whatever. I may not agree with what you do behind closed doors, but I ain't never heard her say what she do behind closed doors. So what that got to do with me? I'm interested in trying to figure out whether or not you can run this institution effectively. Come on, man. We got to get out of your feelings. But this is where the Harvard board and all of the faculty and staff stands on this problem.
New in the last half hour, we got some news for you. The board of Harvard Corporation, which of course oversees Harvard University, saying it is standing by the embattled President Claudine Gay. That news just crossing the wires. A statement saying, quote, our extensive deliberations affirm our confidence President Gay is the right leader to help our community heal and to address very serious societal issues we are facing. The statement saying the corporation's decision was unanimous.
So the board at Harvard unanimously supported and stands by President Claudine Gay, and that they obviously feel as though she's doing a good job, and they don't believe that she said anything wrong. And y'all got to remember, they chopped that up, and she never said anything and took a position in a negative way about the issue that's going on between Israel. What they did was they asked her a question, and she spotted it. They asked her a question and she spotted the finesse. And so instead of her just saying yes or no, she refused to answer it in a way that they wanted her to, because she wanted to give additional context while also being honest in her position and her stance on it. And so they took that soundbite, and you had this Republican lady that came up and tried to make a name off of her, but she was smart enough to be able to spot the finesse. And so she basically inserted the fact that she had additional context, and they never asked her about the context. They just wanted to push an agenda. I'm personally, based off of what it is that I've seen, I don't think that she should lose her job. I'm not an advocate. I think we got to be very, very careful before we start to talk about taking other people's income. We have to be very, very careful when we start to call for and talk about taking somebody's income. Very, very, very careful. You cannot just jump to conclusions, because you have to put yourself in the same shoes of the people that you advocate. It's so easy for us to just say, oh, cancel them, take their income, don't allow for them to be able to work again, ruin their reputation. We can't do that. You can't do that. That is a slippery slope until it starts to apply to you. And then you want justice. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. Anyways, Harvard stood on business, and they going from there. Let me read a few of the super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show, because I got a couple more things that I want to bring before you guys. The Leave the World Behind movie is on Netflix, and it's reporting by the Obamas. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Chris J says, congrats for beating an incomplete Bulls team. How was it incomplete? I don't understand. What was incomplete about it? Y'all got to get out of y'all feelings over there in Houston. H-Town down. I'm about to make that a soundbite too. Chris Moore is in the building with the 10 ball. I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for holding me down. He also says, but the Pistons don't have the GOAT. Chi-Town does. Facts. Michael Jordan don't represent Chicago. Michael Jordan didn't even like Chicago. He didn't even like the management. He didn't even like his home. Michael Jordan said that I play North Carolina basketball. He don't even acknowledge Chicago. He don't even like Scottie Pippen. He don't even like the woman that his son is dating. Boy, don't get me started on y'all. I will. Boy, Tamara, a.k.a. Sarach, says, hey, Tam, you looking kind of cute up there. Say, just showing love to the platform. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Tam. I appreciate you, my love. You are so sweet. Israel is our greatest ally, says Anton finna get canceled talking about our greatest ally. What are you talking about? 1 trillion in Israel right now. Anton, love your content, but your EV position is cringe and cope. EVs are niche and will never be mainstream. Keep up the great work. Let me tell you something. How can something be niche? How can EVs be niche when the Model Y for several different quarters now is the #1 vehicle selling in the world? The Model Y is the #1 vehicle selling in the world. The problem is that there's other countries that actually sell more vehicles than America that are leaving us behind. And if you think EVs are a niche, wait 5 years and see what happens. There are other countries technologically that are leaving us behind. And we never invested in the infrastructure. It's very difficult to get people to be able to see what the future is going to be. You guys want to be interdependent on foreign oil. You want to continue to pollute. Listen. #1 selling vehicle in the world. How can it be the #1 selling vehicle in the world, yet it's niche? Shout out to Israel as our greatest ally. I appreciate you. He got another 10 ball. He got some thoughts. He says, people are waking up to the reality to really holds on media power in this country. Only one group of people more protected in the Rainbow Coalition. Why do 50% of congressmen have dual citizenship to Israel? All right. Okay. All right. I got you. I like that. Ethan's Gamers. I want somebody to come up here on Friday and debate me about EVs. I want somebody to come up here and debate me about EVs on Friday. I'm going to be waiting for y'all. Ethan's Gamer says Harvard president fired a black male attorney who represented Harvey Weinstein because it didn't make students feel safe. She's a hypocrite. Let's deep dive into that. That is a completely different issue, and we will deep dive into that. I am going to find out on my own. I am not going to automatically jump to conclusions, but that is a completely separate issue. And if the board stands with her from Howard, then we're going to rock out with it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ethan's Gamers. Y'all come on up here and debate me. Debate me. I dare you. I dare you. Let me move over into the next segment of the show. Russell Simmons, who's largely made the news and has been resurfacing in the news based off of the fact that Diddy, take that. Shout out to the Ferry out here in the building. Diddy, obviously, and you got Cuba Gooding Jr. and Axl Rose and Jamie Foxx. All of these people are being sued, right? And so Russell Simmons took an opportunity to give a tour of his Bali home. We don't know when he comes and goes out of the United States of America, but he said that his ex-wife, we all know who that is, his ex-wife stole millions of dollars to support her criminal husband. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon.
What are you like as a partner in marriage? I must have been a partner of what I hear. No, I was very generous and tried to be supportive. We were together 15 years, Kimora and I. And for 8 years, we were married. Another 7 before that, we were back and forth. And then I was best friends with Kimora throughout the entire raising of my children. I'm the godfather to all 3 of her other children. I was good friends with Jaimin. I was good friends with this Tim Leisner. So I tried to be as flexible and as accommodating.
Why is people saying that he looked frail? He looks normal to me. He looks like a normal man that is on his way to being 70 in his late 60s. Kenya from Cali, I'm going to definitely read that super chat shortly. He don't look frail to me. He looks like a normal person. He just don't look fat. Do we just got wild standards here in the United States of America and that we think fat is normal? I can't stand when I see a person lose weight and then people say, ooh, you look too skinny. You mean they're their normal body weight? He just looks like a regular person to me.
Supportive, and then, sometimes things don't work out. You've seen there's a lawsuit. I had no choice. I think Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Lord Buddha, anybody would have sued. What? It's a lot of money, and it can help a lot of people. She gave what is now, today, based on the stock, $800 million to the government illegally. And now I'm fighting to get my half of it back.
Wait. Did he say 800 M's?
What? It's a lot of money, and it can help a lot of people. She gave what is now, today, based on the stock, $800 million to the government.
Oh, based on the stock. So he's saying based off of the valuation. Hold on, let me read the bottom. So you got to read the bottom. Lee is currently married to Tim Leisner, who pleaded guilty to money laundering in 2018, paying nearly $44 million to avoid Oh, God. $44 million to the government, and he's saying that the value should be close to $800 million, and he fighting to get his half back because his chick finessed because she wanted to go and get with a Pookie
illegally, and now I'm fighting to get my half of it back. And it was in support of Tim, who, as you know, is a convicted criminal, and they stole. I think it was $6 to $8 billion from the Malaysian people. And his bail was my stock, which had no right to be.
Kimura alleges that you didn't use any of your own money to buy the stock. You didn't use
any
not
alleges. Tim paid for the stock.
Own money to
Tim bought the stock.
Invest in her investment company.
It was my company. Tim put money in my company, and we bought the stock. It's obvious. The government will figure that out. It was mine. I found the company. I built the company. I reformulated the drink. I got LeBron and Kobe and Kim Kardashian and Puffy and everybody to promote it. It was nothing, and now it's worth $16 billion, right? And I was part of that process. In fact, it would never have existed if not.
What drink is he talking about?
For me. That's a fact. So
somebody in the chat tell me what drink he talking
about. I owned the stock. And then one day, they just took it behind my back and gave it to the government as his bail. And then it was only worth $60 or $70 million then. Plenty of money for me. I'm a billionaire. I live in Bali. It's cheap.
Oh, is he talking about Celsius? Sued his ex-wife. He recently sued his ex-wife, Kimura Lee Simmons, and her new husband. This was in 2021, alleging that the two conspired to fraudulently transfer millions of shares of Celsius, a popular energy drink, to pay Leisner's legal and bail fees. In August 2022, Celsius signed a long-term partnership deal with Pepsi. The deal infused Celsius with $550 million in cash, and the company only has $60 million of its own cash at the time, which gave it access to Pepsi's world-class distribution network. And then Monster paid $362 million to acquire the key competitor. Wow. Pepsi made in August 2022 a $550 million investment in the Celsius. Wow, that's crazy. And she just gave away the stock in order to keep her man out of jail. Listen, I need a woman like that on my team. I need a woman like that on my team that is willing to give up $44 million to the federal government in order to keep me free. Oh, wee. He must have really, really been putting it down. He must have really, really been putting it down. For a woman to be willing to give up 44 M's of her ex-husband's bag and stock and shares in order to make sure that you stay free, man. I need a woman like that on our team.
I have what I have. I'm happy. The fact that it's going to ballooned up to 800 million is quite a. Maybe I should thank everybody if when it gets all resolved. But in the short term, there are people I can't help. There are philanthropic, social, and political concerns that I would normally help.
What are the steps that have to happen?
Well, I don't even go into legality. Yeah. Well, the government has now moved back and said they want to negotiate. They don't want to go to trial over it because they want to go to forfeiture. So they said they're going to negotiate. We hope that we can make a reasonable. I hate that I give them anything. I offered them 10% of my half. And then she's sitting on a bunch of it that she can't cash either. So the stock is totally at the mercy of the market, how much money it is. And it goes up sometimes what's equal to $100 million and down. I built this hotel thinking I had the stock too. So from a liquidity standpoint, it really put a crunch on me.
How so?
No liquidity. I can't go do a lot of I didn't make rapper money like Kanye West. I was a different era. But I made enough. And yes, there's a liquidity crunch. It's there. It's not.
So, as usual, Google lied. If you look up Russell Simmons' net worth in 2023, they say his net worth is the equivalent of $350 million. Lies. So either he lying or they ain't got as much money as y'all think that they got. And that's why they sold all of them rush cards. And then they got it. Come on, man. Come on. They fighting for that money because they need that money, man. They need that money. A lot of these people is out here living life. And he said, look, man, I need my money. I need my money now. And either he's lying and he's sitting on a bag, or the market ain't marketing. The market ain't marketing. He said, I need my money, and I need my money now. And I built this based off of the liquidity that I had in that other company, and so I need my money from the government. So either he capping, you say a bit of both? Okay.
I'll survive.
How does it affect you?
The only thing that affects me about this is my children being upset with me. I love them more than I love everything. And when my children have a narrative about me that is not accurate, and my children actually publicly say that I've been in some way not acted well, I've always been the one to hold space for them. They could curse me out, yell at me. They know that I love them unconditionally, that I cannot unlove them.
Because there was a...
He a wrong man about that, because that one daughter, the one that was supporting, that one daughter is a mess. That one daughter. And they be cussing him out and throwing him under the bus on social media and disrespecting his name and all of that. Man, let me tell you something. Everything is on condition. Even a word of God says it's an if-then statement. If you do my will, then. If you suffer with me, then. If you are obedient, then. Obedience is better than sacrifice, then. Everything is on condition. Ain't no listen, when you tell somebody you love them unconditionally, you give them permission to throw you under the bus because you said that you love me no matter what it is that I do to you. No. Everything is on condition. And so if you take care of business, then you will be rewarded accordingly. But all of this extra that you got going on, nope.
There's a period where they called you emotionally
They raised some
abusive.
monsters.
They just thought you might be mentally ill.
Do I seem mentally ill to you?
I mean,
you never know what's in the back of my head. Maybe
sure,
I'm crazy.
Right.
Well, when I first sued, I said, you illegally took my money and you criminally gave it to the government as bail. You misrepresented who owned it. And the response is, yes, some of the money is yours, but you've been abusive. Why am I the godfather to the 3 boys? Why did I go on every vacation with her and her husband just to be near my kids? And why did I continue to be the very best friend that she had? You can call anybody that's known us. None would agree with that narrative. None. So it's very hurtful. But you know what my job is? Not even to discuss it, really. There's nothing I can do to convince anyone, or nor should I need to convince people. I have not responded to any of the negative stuff in the media, the attacks, at all. Yesterday, you were with me when my daughter texted me. Tomorrow, I close on their new apartment, the 23-year-old and 21-year-old, to say that I'm the deadbeat when I paid $50,000 a month for 20 years.
Hold on. Wait. He said he paid $50,000 a month for 20 years. Let me do the math real quick. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page because, I don't even have to do the math. $50,000 a month for 20 years. Well, yeah, I got to do the math because It's 12 months in a year. All right. So let's do our mental math. 50,000 times 12 times 20. He paid $12 million? $12 million? Okay, so where did the money go, ma'am? I need some accountability being held for how it is that you spent this money. I need some accountability for how you spent this money. 12 M's and you stole from me?
Jesus. And still pay.
Jesus. Lord help me.
Still signing a new lease for the two of them to live in Manhattan. So one can model and the other one can go back to school.
Nah.
When this settles, I'm going to put a chunk of money in their account. They can tell both of us to off.
Nope.
That's the plan. I think that may be part of the reason we're not so quick to settle, because I would give them independence.
What steps do you take to avoid letting it just destroy you as a parent?
I meditate daily. I take my walks. I send nurturing and beautiful messages to them every day.
Ain't enough walks, messaging, and yoga. And ain't enough yoga moves that you can make in your life that's going to never make up for the disrespect that you gave to me, and I'm still signing your leases? Oh, hell no. It ain't enough messages and well wishes that you can give me that's going to make up for the disrespect that you didn't have for me for the entirety of your existence. No. You're going to have to come with something else. You're going to have to come with something else. No, sir. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm working on myself, and I'm on a relatively peace, love, and hair grease journey. I mean, I'm on such a journey that I have no animosity and smoke for anybody, especially as a content creator on you. Like, I don't even react to Umar Johnson stuff anymore. I don't care. Let me tell you something. It's going to have to be some furniture moving. When we get past a certain number, it's a different conversation. When we get past a certain number, that's when you start inserting the God ain't done with me yet conversation.
That I know that they digest. They send me back, I love you, thank you. And I accept.
I love you, thank you.
And I haven't spoken publicly about this, I'm telling you.
As long as you keep the money coming, they love you, thank you. Did you sign for my apartment? Oh, yeah, I love you, thank you. Oh, did you put that money in my account? Oh, I love you, thank you. Oh, and thanks for the messages, too. They probably don't even read the messages. They probably skip right over the messages.
Stuff I accept that this may not be a good move. You know, the public spat you saw started when I said a mother should make it easy for a father to see a child. The day I sued her mother, it stopped following me on Instagram. That day. And that day the mother said, you'll never speak to them again. And so I speak to them.
You can spend, you can spend $50,000 for 20 years to the tune of over $12 million. And the minute that you say, hey, the mom should make it easier for me, all respect, you will never talk to him again. And the kids is going to curse you out on TikTok.
They're back almost every day. And I still support them. But, you know, it's tough. They started to receive a different narrative and started to really be more difficult to manage my relationship with them.
Don't matter how rich you are.
They're old enough to know that their parents aren't perfect. Their mother loves them.
Don't matter how rich you are.
And a dispute that we have will be resolved.
Oh, you thought you were special.
Found and created and
you're not.
Reformulated and branded and built that company. They know that I owned half of it. But I don't think it's up to them to judge or have to make any decisions about it. I did say when I said, could you tell your mother to call me? You're with her every day. You know what she did. Can you call her to the table? I can't unlove her, right? Much less unlove my children.
I don't.
So I know that it'll be resolved.
Why would I love you?
Your ex-wife?
Well, you know, I love what she's done for my children. I love the experiences we had together. And I know that she's suffering.
Jesus Christ.
Hurt people.
Nah, you can keep that hurt people nonsense. You can keep that when they go low, we go high. I don't want to hear none of that, fam. I don't want to hear none of that. This is all simp talk and simp behavior. That's all we see happening right here. I want to get to another piece of money, but before we get into that, let me read a couple of the super chats. I got one more segment that I want to share with you guys. Kenya from Cali says, great segment. I always appreciate the knowledge you give and the laughs. Respect. I love my people. And shout out to Kenya from Cali. You might have to come up out of Cali, though, baby. Alboa Sanima says, thank you, Anton. We received the $500 today. The animation, motion capture, and voice recording going down this Saturday and Sunday. Because of that, you made this possible. We appreciate you. Listen. It's my pleasure. I am a man of my word when I say that I'm going to send the money. When you hit me up and you said, Anton, A, B, C, and D, I'm a bag chaser. Is it anything that you can do to help us out? Because we got to be able to get over this hump and we got deadlines that we need to meet. You know what I said? I got you. Shout out to Alboa Sanima. There are benefits to rocking out with the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Israel is our greatest ally. It says top 10 selling vehicles worldwide for Q1. Number 1, Tesla Model Y, 267,000 units. Number 2 through 10, all internal combustion vehicles. No other EVs on the list is niche, bro. Nothing wrong with that. Much love. Okay. All right. We're going to have that conversation on Friday. My name is Corey says 12 M's over 20 years. Y'all not going to sit up here and tell me when Anton say the biggest investment that you'll ever make is the person that lay next to you. Ain't the mother effing truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the biggest investment you ever going to make in your life as far as the person that you lay next to every day and that you don't wear rubber with. Chris Moore says lame all day. I agree with you. He is absolutely positively in simp mode. Chris J says, you're not going to disrespect me and still live off my money. That is the quickest way to get a one-on-one reality check. This is wild. I agree, Chris. You are 100% correct. Let me get all the way to the money because, I got to ease y'all into it and make sure that y'all taking care of it, right? Let me ease y'all into it. Grocery stores and retailers are harvesting your data, and they're leveraging that information in order to inform them on how it is that they can siphon off more of your money. All right? I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's talk about this before we get out of here for the day.
It's happened to all of us. You go to the store, stock up on groceries, household goods. Ooh, a new candle. And it's on sale? Sure, I'll throw that in my cart. You go to check out, swipe your card, head home, settle in on the couch, and wait a second. Is that an ad for candles? In fact, that's the exact brand I just bought. How did they do that?
We are able to show targeted advertising that's relevant to people.
We obviously have advertising. We're an ad-supported model, but again, we collect less data than our peers.
We're just allowing private companies to monitor us left, right, and center.
For most people,
I don't trust no man with pink hair that's talking real fast to me.
Data than our peers.
We're just allowing private companies.
I don't trust any man with pink hair. Do he got a bull ring in his nose? I don't trust any man with glasses and pink hair that went out of his way to make sure that he dyed his hair that color before he came on to Squawk Box on CNBC.
Needs to monitor us left, right, and center.
For most people, very familiar with Meta, Facebook, and YouTube, but the successful business model of those powerful platforms has really triggered a kind of Wild West, digital data gold rush.
At this point, data collection is a fact of life. From browser cookies and Amazon Prime to hyper-specific Facebook ads, the modern consumer is giving over more and more data every single day. But what if we told you data collection goes beyond social media? beyond e-commerce.
You're collecting that data, what people purchase online. Yes or
I
no?
actually, if they share it with us.
That it's more a part of your everyday life than most people realize.
It's a total monetization of every aspect of our lives that we didn't ask for and that we really have very few ways to escape.
What if you're giving over your valuable data the moment you step in a store?
Walking into a store, there's a camera tracking my face, there's Wi-Fi or beacons tracking my movement through the store.
When you go shop for groceries, the grocery store is shopping for your data.
And now, the federal government might be stepping in on behalf of consumers.
You know, the interesting thing about it is that we'll sit here and we'll complain about it. Oh my God, it's too much of our information. Big Brother is watching, cameras everywhere. And then we'll embrace it right after that. And you know why we're going to embrace it? Because we want it. We just don't want them to tell us that they're doing it. We want it. We want to make our lives easier. Look. When they came out with ChatGPT, right? Because the cloud has always been in existence for an extended period of time. I remember when I started moving everything over into the cloud off of hard drives, where I actually was making sure that I had both cloud backed up and hard drives, right? Because I got multiple different hard drives backing everything up. And people around me, they was like, man, you trust the cloud? You trust the cloud? Now, 7 years, 8 years later, right? Everybody is cloud specific. You know why? Because when you go over and you purchase your iPhone, you want to automatically just be able to buy it, port it over, or just sign in and then have all of your stuff automatically download because it's all based off of convenience. When you sell people convenience, they're not selling you a product. They're selling you an ecosystem. And this is the thing that people don't understand. When ChatGPT came out, everybody ran over into it. Your friends, your family, it finally gave you an opportunity to not have to help your kids with their homework because you didn't know what you was doing anyway. Everybody ran into it as fast as possible. You won't even buy an iPhone, an Android, or anything like that without cloud storage or infrastructure. You know why? Because if you lose your phone or you get it wet or something happens or it breaks, you lose all of your context unless it's backed up by the cloud. And so you want the convenience because you don't want to go through like you in 1993 and have to program every single phone number or every single thing back into whatever it is that you're doing. So you signing up for it without even signing up for it. When you watch YouTube, and then depending on what it is that you're looking at, when they recommend to you something based off of your algorithm, you don't just want to get recommended some random cat videos. You want them to recommend things that's going to be relevant to whatever it is that you're interested in. And in order for them to do that, they have to be able to source your data, and they source it from a bevy of different things. And so you can't have it both ways. Data information is money. You can't have it both ways because data information allows for them to be able to monetize you. And we want to be monetized. We just don't want to be told that we're being monetized because then you feel like a commodity. People want to be used. They just don't want to be, they don't want to tell you that they're being used. You know what we are? We prostitutes. Prostitutes for data. That's what we are. We're prostitutes for convenience. Okay, let me break it down to you from a C student's perspective. Men don't want to be told that they're hiring a prostitute, but they lead with their money in order to be able to bag a woman. Aha. Aha. You don't want to just be naturally you. What you want to do is you want her to make you feel like she really likes you and love you, even though, and this is not for everybody, but the majority of men, you want to be used, you just don't want to be misused. And so what you do is we use these terms and these words in order to make us feel better. Oh man, she loved me for me, or you know what, I take care of her, but she got to be here for the right reasons. Because if she tells you, you know what, you to come up, and as long as you continue to take care of my lifestyle, I won't leave you, But we have the information to say, well, the overwhelming majority of divorces is not initiated based off of irreconcilable differences. It's based off of the fact that you ain't got no money, man. And as soon as we ran into a rough patch from a financial perspective, she said I could do bad all by myself. It wasn't that you cheated. Nah, she was able to get over that. It wasn't that y'all had an argument. Nah, that wasn't it. Nope. That was a lie. Survey says that's a lie. She didn't even like you. She thought that you was just a cool person, but she seen an opportunity with you, and then you made it convenient for her by making her feel more secure, and then she made you feel loved, and then she needed your protection and your provision, and y'all let these simps come through and say, well, listen, it ain't 50-50, it's 100-100, and then she justifies her argument by saying, well, people in the Bible, and this, blah, blah, blah. Listen, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. You there because your number one reason for being in a relationship was based off of provision and protection. Then he wanted to make sure that he had some reoccurring box every single day. But you don't want him to say that I just love your box. You want him to say, I love you and you are such a good mother. And then she want him to say, well, you know what? We're going to have a real conversation, because it all comes back to exactly what it is that we see happening with our data. You know that when you sign up and you put in your email, or you get whatever this is, or you put your preferences is, you got your swiping left and your swiping rights and all of this other type of stuff, you know that they're using your information and your data. But then you're going to sit there and act cap to me and you're going to say, how did they hear me? I just was talking about that. I can't believe this showed up on my phone. See, you know what? This is why I don't like all of this. We need more privacy functions. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. You know what they doing with your information. It was convenient for you when you lost your iPhone, but it's inconvenient for you when you said something out loud and your phone was listening to you, and then next thing you know, you was looking at an ad that said the exact same thing. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. We know exactly what's happening. We just don't want to be told the truth. We'd rather be sold, keyword sold, not told. We'd rather be sold a lie. And the reason that it has to be sold to you is because you won't see any value in it unless you give your money for it. That's why when you give free information, people always say, hey, man, how come y'all don't give information for free when it comes to money or whatever? Because I know that you don't value it as long as I'm giving it to you for free. It's a library that's empty right up the street right now. But you're going to spend $30,000 to go to a conference just so you can put a shark skin suit on and feel important, and then you're going to take every single note, and they gave you no value whatsoever. If I charged you $5,000 a month for the Patreon, you be all in and feeling like you're getting way more value. But because I charge you $15 a month, and then there's some people that got lifetime subscriptions for $9 a month, now all of a sudden you don't feel like you're getting as much value. I need to make sure that I pay an extra amount of money for this. Fam, when I bought the Lamborghini Urus, I knew that it was a Volkswagen. But it had that Lambo Bull on the front of it, and it got them holes up in the front seat. Stop it. You like being sold. You like being sold. You like being sold. And so stop pretending as though we are so concerned about our privacy when we're heading face first into it. That's the reality of it. You like the idea that it's predicting that you're pregnant. Oh my God. Let me figure out the gender. Y'all like playing God? Stop it.
It may sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually happening right now in the US to millions of shoppers at some of the country's biggest retailers.
Retailers today are doing just about everything they can to get as much information about you as possible, because that's a whole new revenue stream for them.
It feels like data collection is something that we all know is happening but can't escape. A study out of the University of Pennsylvania found 79% of Americans feel they have little control over what marketers can find out about them. And over half, 52%, felt if they didn't age, name, and address.
Yep, Yakar, you're right.
Demographic data, things like socioeconomic status, education, age group, and income. And third,
what okay, so wait a minute. If y'all don't like it, look, Watch Too Much Reality 7 says, no, I don't. Privacy is important. What do you think a credit score is? What do you think that your credit report is? I thought you wanted to be private. If you wanted to be private, you would just go to work, save your money, and then go and pay for your car. But you need a profile. They call it a credit profile in order for them to share your data, and then they validate that data by also comparing it against your history, your purchase history, your limits. They're using your information in order to make an informed decision to determine whether or not you will be a good borrower to pay them money and interest on top of their loans. Don't sit here and tell me that you like privacy, but you use credit. Don't tell me you like privacy, but you use credit. If it's convenient and you feel like you're going to get that Hellcat with 707 horsepower, or maybe you could get the jailbreak version, you're going to give all of the data and the information over there as fast as possible. But you signing up for credit cards, you just don't like data. You like privacy. What do you mean? They know where you live at, where you walk, where you talk, where you work, what time you getting off, if you got fired. Listen. The minute that you file an insurance claim, you know what the first thing that they do? They reference a data point to figure out whether or not you was behind on your car note. The minute that you file an insurance claim, the first thing that they do, and the reason why they want you to put in the finance company that you are financing through in order to validate whether or not you can get insurance to them, is they go and they check to find out whether or not you are behind on your car note in order to figure out whether or not they need to investigate you for insurance fraud. It's the first thing that they do. First thing that they do is go and check to see if you are missing any payments based off of these data points and all of this information that you got. They're going to find out who you are and what you're doing to see if you were committing insurance fraud. That's a fact. Think I'm playing. Get your car stolen and you 3 months behind on your car note. Watch how much more difficult it is for you to be able to get your payment.
Is behavioral data, knowingly or unknowingly. One of the biggest touch points for retailers is the most obvious one.
One of the biggest culprits in retailer data collection is those loyalty programs. To sign up for one of those, you have to give your name, your date of birth, your email address, your phone number, and then subsequently you are incentivized every time you go and shop at this particular retailer.
Every time y'all go to Publix and Kroger and all of these places and you want to put in the Speedway gas station, oh, but I'm a rewards customer. Look, every single thing that we do is all data driven. Going over to the casino and you become a platinum member, a noir member, you got invited into a special club. All of y'all want the Amex Black card. You want the Centurion card. You want the Amex Platinum in order to get the Delta Sky Club so that you can get the status. You want to get this Chase Sapphire Rewards because it's a metal card and it banged when it hit the table. You want to get the cars, the clothes, the everything. Every single thing that you do is data driven. You are nothing but a number. The very idea of how they identify you by a social security number means that you are a data point. They don't get no more realer than that. You sign up for your rewards points, loyalty programs. Everybody keep telling me, oh, you get credit and all of that. You're a data point. That's all you are. Even when you go to prison, you don't even get a name no more. You a number. And I want you to make my license plates as quickly as possible. We evaluate how fast you're making a license plate to determine what the rate should be.
To enter in all that information to identify yourself, and they're still one of the most prominent ways in particular right now that companies are figuring out how to monetize data.
Every time you swipe your loyalty card to collect those points, you're being tracked, your purchase is being connected to your profile, and that data is being used to analyze your behavior.
Facts, Tam. That's a fact, though.
Now, many people opt to not use a loyalty program, saving themselves from having to hand over that information directly. But even something as simple as downloading the store's app can be a touch point. Other touch points might be happening without you even realizing. Things like geofencing, connecting to in-store Wi-Fi, even location tracking.
Did y'all know what geofencing is? Do you know how they're able to track and then track down your killers that's in your neighborhoods that go out and do these egregious crimes? They triangulate it based off of what satellite you pinged from your cell phone when you go over there and commit a crime. And so they know that you was in the area, even though you lying and saying that you wasn't. They got you on camera. All of these Ring cameras that y'all keep buying in order to keep your home safe is really just a data point. They understand exactly how many of y'all live within a certain mile radius of a specific store. They know where it is that they need to have police presence or not. They understand every single thing there is to know about you, and then they let you get away with the crime in order to continue to push a narrative that's happening within our culture. You think that geofencing, look, okay. When it gets summertime, this is what I want y'all to do. I want you to go and get on one of them little renter scooters that be in y'all city and then see if it slows down once it passes a certain point and it's geofenced in order to prevent you, or get a drone and try to fly it over a certain thing and watch geofencing prevent it from going over a certain stadium and stuff like that. Every single thing that you do is a data point. Everything. 100%. We are so infatuated with technology at this point in our life, it's impossible for us to go back, and it's a lot of people that's making a lot of money from it, including retailers. The only people that's out of the loop is the people that want to be lied to and pretended. It's a fact, though. Listen, let me read one more super chat, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. I appreciate y'all for continuing to hold me down. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. My dog, two-way RMS. Said, first time dropping in the collection plate. Been watching you for about 6 months and love the channel. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for rocking out with me. Thank you for continuing to hold me down. I appreciate everybody I never asked for, but I always show appreciation and love for anybody that gives even $1, let alone 25, family. So thank you, and I appreciate you for giving the first super chat. I never let it go not be acknowledged. All right, listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with me on this Tuesday, 2 Chains Tuesday. And we're going to continue to rock out. So listen, make sure y'all tap in tomorrow morning, Millionaire Morning Show. Y'all got a night off. In a minute, that y'all not going to have a night off. Y'all not going to have a night off starting in 2024. You're not going to have a night off. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I got one more super chat I need to acknowledge. Hold on. Let me acknowledge this one really quickly. My dog, Iceman, 400 HI says, props to AD for staying true to his word and supporting people that he doesn't even know. I received $500 from the Pitch Your Business event, and I'm forever grateful. Hashtag Bag Chaser for life. Hashtag Boomtown Picks. Well, I'm glad that you got your monies. Shout out to the people that got their moolah. We have nobody that did not get their monies. Every single person that pitched their business and that I said yes to got your monies. Every single one of y'all. So congratulations to everybody that held it down. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all share this with y'all family and friends. I'm out.